Bow, bow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, y'all. Let me get myself situated here. I don't know if you guys can even hear me right now. Alrighty, let's kick things off. Give me 1 second. Hope y'all all are having a blessed Wednesday. I'm here with another one. Okay, I can hear myself. So we're good. We're good to go. As I'm getting situated here, just know there's a lot going on in real estate, per usual, right? Real estate right now seems to be like the topic of this, not, I would say topic of discussion, but more or less, a lot of people are on the sidelines right now. So a lot of people want to know what in the heck is going on. How can they position themselves? Is it a good opportunity? Is it a bad opportunity? Should they be looking? Should they stay away? So we're going to answer some of that today, at least more or less. What should you be kind of looking at in terms of prices? Because I think that's one of the key things that keeps a lot of people sidelined. So we definitely gonna cover that, as you guys can see in the thumbnail in itself. That picture, which I should actually pull up right now, and we can go through it together real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm just loading all my clips up, so I don't have to go through this later. Should did this earlier. My bad. Forgive me now. Forgive me later. Either or. I think everybody be all right. But this pretty picture here that I'm about to pull up for you, it really showed, and it's the same thing that was on the thumbnail. So saw the thumbnail, I was like, whoa, what is that? This is exactly what it was. Are you gonna share my screen? Okay, no, I need to stop the share, and I need to share my screen. There we go. So this pretty picture here, it just really goes over where is the affordability, right? So anything that's red, it's pretty much bad. Anything yellow is obviously semi bad, and anything green is, and it says it right here, right? So median home value less than 4 times median household income. If it's yellow, it's between 4 to 6 times the median household income. If it's red, not this dark looking red, right, but bright red, then 6 to 10 times the median household income. And if it's this dark red, whew, you're looking at 10 times the median income, which is horrendous, honestly. And I think this is it's some over here, which if I knew my geography, then I would know exactly what area that is. I know this is California. That might be New Mexico. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, because I'm not about to pull up the map and figure this out right now, because we have much more and better things to talk about today. So this is one of the things, right? We're going to talk a lot about prices today, because I'm sure one thing that you guys are all wondering is where are prices, what's going on with prices, especially in retrospect to your area. So at this point in time, if you do have a question about your specific area, just drop it in the comments, and I'll try my best to cover that area. But if you don't drop it and you wait till the last minute and then you want me to cover it, that's going to be a tough task right there that you're asking me to do. However, we're going to talk about mortgage rates, because unfortunately nothing has changed there. More homes, as you may know, is on the market, and if you don't know, now you know. So more homes are on the market. Sellers are, of course, adjusting their prices. Well, I shouldn't say of course, because that's not obvious. And there is no more panic buying. So meaning bidding wars are kind of going away, because there's not as many buyers, right? I don't know if you guys remember, was it last stream where I showed you the difference between the buyer and the seller and how wide that gap was? But if you don't remember it, here I'll show you real quick. And this is what's going on in the world. This is why you should start negotiating. And this is why you really get prepared. And when getting prepared and then having these moments appears, it just makes everything even easier and better. But when I go ahead and show you this is what I was talking about when I was saying, no, I didn't want to do that one. why it look like that. There we go. We'll just do this one. But yes, this is when I was talking about that gap, right? So there's more sellers than buyers, which is going to give you the opportunity and the ability to be able to not panic, negotiate, and don't have to deal with, bidding wars everywhere like we all experienced back in 2020 times. And so timing is going to be one of the things is going to be of the essence as a buyer, simply because if you're not prepared, you're going to miss out on crucial opportunities and incentives. And just personally speaking, I just don't see these opportunities being here forever. When you hear everyone speak on the housing market, what they're doing now, it's like, will they continue to do this if the buyers come back? Probably not, especially not the builders in itself. Resale market, we can kind of deal with as kind of, navigating that. But the new construction, what they're doing right now for individuals, it's one of its kind, at least that I've ever seen. So get prepared. That's the only thing I could really share with y'all. Get prepared as much as possible. That way you don't have to deal with the rest of the crowd when everything gets nasty. Bro. Real estate deals coming through. But welcome. This is what we do every single Wednesday. I shouldn't say every single Wednesday, because I actually had to put a pause to that, because I realized, hey, I'm repeating myself way too much and I'm getting redundant and it's irritating me. So I was like, hey, it's not to irritate all of y'all. Man, if you really want me to do this every week, I'm more than happy to do so. But y'all got to bring some more questions and real life examples that you want me to walk you through to be able to assist and help. But every other Wednesday, 7 p.m., catch me here on the spot. And we're going to talk about real estate in itself. First, let's go ahead and dive into the one of the news that just recently happened with mortgage rates. Well, I shouldn't say mortgage rates, interest rates. So the Federal Reserve, they decided to do something that, unfortunately, I think it's all sad to us all. They didn't change the mortgage rates. I mean, the interest rates. I keep saying mortgage rates. They didn't change interest rates, so which means expect mortgage rates to stay where they're at. All right, whatever range that you see it in, which you can go on any website. I'm sure if you're really in the market, you're keeping an eye on it. Mortgage rates are going to be in that range for quite some time. There's a lot of uncertainty around tariffs, supposedly, and then tariffs causing some sort of inflation. So that's why interest rates are where they're at. One thing I could share with you, don't tell everybody this. Make sure you keep this like a secret between the people that you love, close to, or whoever that's looking in this market. Rates may actually start cutting in September. And I only say may because that's what they're saying, right? They're saying the fall, and who knows, right? All that stuff can change. We don't know. We will see. But tell everyone that's close to you, hey, if they're concerned about interest rates, you may want to start getting yourself prepared now for that time when it comes into the fall. At least now you can rush to the lender, get your pre-approval, and start to really shop. Otherwise, if you wait to get to ready in that moment, all I gotta do is it's just gonna be a sad day for you. That's it. And this is what I'm seeing. A lot of individuals are getting themselves ready when the time is perfect. I don't know about you, but I've never found a perfect moment for anything, right? It's always you're in the right place, right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, right? It's either one of those two are going to work out or not work out in your favor. In fact, I could probably show you how important it is to get ready. Man, where is it? Because if you get ready now, then you won't have to deal with what I'm about to show you. What in the world? I'm in the wrong folder, that's why. All right, cool. So we're going to take a look at mortgage rates real quick. I want to show you how important it is to get ready. So, of course, you'll be able to see if I share my screen, right? So this just really breaks down how important mortgage rates are. And this is why a lot of people are like, I'm not really feeling these mortgage rates. They're a little too much for me. I ain't really dealing with it. Considering though, a home is about 3 to 400, right? That's the median of the United States. Now, whatever area you are in, this is your time and opportunity to drop it in the comments below, because I can find your median real quick, and we can kind of look at these numbers in real life. But if you're 3 to 4, right? We're looking only at 3 to 4. If you're in an area where homes are at 200,000 or less, man, you are, God bless your soul. Tell me where you are at for real. Because or maybe don't tell me, because then investors might go in and scoop up all that inventory and just drive up prices. But yeah, I didn't tell you that. But let's just look for, so if you know that many people have an interest rate of 3%, then this is essentially what their mortgage is going to be. Whereas now a lot of people are getting high sixes and sevens. So you're looking at someone who got a home at for 1,200 is looking at, for 1,200, for 300,000 is looking at a mortgage payment of 1,200, in comparison to someone who's buying now, maybe looking closer to 2 grand, right? So this is why a lot of people who bought their home, around 2020, 2021, they're really not trying to sell, unless if they absolutely have to, is because you going from 1,200 to 2,000 is just that's a huge jump that I don't think a lot of people are ready for, or even willing to take on that. And that's for a $300,000 home. So if you go to 400,000, same thing, right? So if whoever bought their home for 400,000 in 2020 or 2021, they're looking at more of like 1,700. Whereas if they were to buy now, that literally doubled. So this is how important those interest rates are. One thing I've always been told is, if you're going to refinance, and this is not something I learned in real estate, this is more finance. If you're going to refinance, it's best to refinance when mortgage rates, or at least your mortgage rate, drop at least 2%. Otherwise, if you do like a quarter, you do 1% of a cut, then it's not that big of a difference to your payment. And in fact, you're going to probably pay more in closing costs to get that rate. So does it really make sense in the long run, is what you must ask yourself. But let me know if y'all got questions on this, more or less. Tell me what market you're in, if you want to expose that, at least the metro area, and then I could help you guys identify what, at least payment wise, you may be looking at, because payment isn't just your mortgage. It's, in fact, it's going to be based on your credit, your income, and the down payment that you all put down, which is going to essentially give you whatever your monthly payment is going to be. So wait for dip. You can wait for the dips. Just know, if you wait for dips, another thing that you are going to be faced with is the fact that everyone is waiting for a dip, just like you. So you'll just have to face with other buyers as well. So be equipped. That's why I'm informing you. Hey, just get ready, because if things do start to if things do start to change into your favor, then at least you can beat everybody else, and you don't have to worry about bidding or going through all the mess that many other individuals may have to go through. But just expect mortgage rates to stay within the range that we're in right now, right between high fives to low sevens. Um, we'll see where things will go over time, but as of right now, that's where we're at. Unfortunately, no one really sees it changing, especially given that federal chairman just mentioned, rates are unchanged, and they probably won't change until starting of September. So there you have it. But let me go ahead and let's move on and shift over to the buyer market shifts, where I want to discuss and share with you a little bit more about what markets are experiencing price cuts, because I'm sure that's what you guys all really want to know. So first and foremost, if you don't know, zoom in real quick. I'm going to show this with you because this happened last month. There it is. There was 21% of homes. 21% of homes. I think I need to say a little bit more for the people in the back. 21% of homes with price drops. So there's like for every one home you see, I think what they say, for every one home, for every 5 homes, there's one home that had a price cut. Now, how significant is that price cut? That is depending on your area. And this is what sucks kind of with this. Looking at this chart here, it's 21% of homes with price cuts or price drops, whatever you want to name it. Great, but is that price cut even significant? Right? It should be, right? You're not gonna if someone is actually trying to sell their home and making a price cut, they are probably gonna do at least 1%, but 1 to 3. It depends on where they're at and, of course, how bad they want to sell. So lock and load, get ready, because it's happening in your area. Maybe, maybe not. I don't need this. Okay, I'm going to show you, in addition, what markets as well. Since y'all being too shy, I don't want to share where y'all at. See, you guys can get this information verbatim. So this is showing you what markets are experiencing house cuts, prices falling. It's going to be a lot of Florida. I'm going to just forewarn you. It's going to be a lot of Florida. It's going to be a lot of Texas. It's going to be some California in this. You see Louisiana right here pops up. All right. But at least this is going to give you the specific area in itself. So take screenshots. If you see an area that you're trying to relocate to, or someone trying to relocate to, then this would be prime time for it. Let me actually take myself off the screen so hopefully y'all can still hear me. This would be a perfect opportunity for you to share this chart when you're taking a screenshot of it, to let anybody know that maybe relocating to those markets, hey, this is what's going on right now. Right now, what you see right now may not be what's going to be the case later. So always remember that real estate has its own cycles that it goes through. So like I said, you're going to see a lot of Florida. You're going to see a lot of Texas. Arizona is one that I just saw that popped up. I'm pretty sure you're not going to see too much Arizona, though. Right. All the major markets. In fact, if you are looking in Raleigh, North Carolina, Raleigh popped up on this list, too. So we can see where that ended up on this list. And Raleigh was like, no, I'm not going to spoil it. You got to wait and see. Or actually, I should say, you have to find it. How about that? Locked and loaded. Got him on that one. Got him. Look at Rocky Mountains right there. You got Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta. I don't know how they combine all three of them into one. Like, they're all three different areas. But what do I know? I hope y'all taking screenshots. There's Colorado. That's something I didn't mention, I don't think. You got Hawaii on this list. Do you guys see it? Because I see it. So there goes your Raleigh for you. So everyone that's looking in that Raleigh market, you're down about 2%. And then I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm just making sure y'all taking y'all screenshots. Because if you don't, I mean, there's not much more I can do for you. I'm giving you the information so you can act on it. And then we're coming towards the end. As you guys can see, most of these are coming to an area where it's getting closer to flat in terms of prices. Now, this is, if you're just popping in now, this is me sharing with everyone what markets are seeing price cuts. There's Durham, Chapel Hill. So literally, the triangle in itself is getting an entire price cut. But Raleigh got a little bit more than the Durham area. Even Greensboro. Wow. So all of North Carolina. I don't remember if I saw Charlotte on this list. All right, so I saw Rocky Mount, I saw Greensboro, Durham, Raleigh, Chapel Hill, literally the entire triangle. Oops, didn't want to do that. Asheville. Okay, so it's like every North Carolina area that you can think of. I really wonder where is Charlotte on this list. And there's the end of it. Right. So these are, and I'm glad I did that because these are the prices as of May of 24 to May of 25. Right. So given that we're in June, you can't expect all of this to be true. In fact, we'll probably get more up to date data about June sometime this week or even next week to be able to share a bit more about what's going on with prices specifically. If you got a market that you specifically want me to look at or see if it's on this list, drop it in the comments and I'll scan this list real quick. There goes Charlotte for you. Look at that. But yeah, let me know if you got a market that you want me to specifically look at and see if it's on this list so that you can see if there's a bargain or something going on in your market that you got to take a look at in itself. But there you go. There you have it. Now you know where to look. You should at least. And if you don't, that's on you. That is on you. But welcome back. I'm here. I'm here. In the meantime, let me know if you guys have any questions about what you just saw, or maybe a question about what's going on in your market specifically. Because everyone is cutting right now, so this is prime time for you guys as buyers. Now, if you're watching this as a seller, I know you're pissed off, but I don't control the market. I just share with you what's going on in the market. The only thing I can share with you as a seller is just choose a better time to sell, unfortunately, or don't sell. And this is something I actually just thought about this. This is something I don't understand, especially if you have a good interest rate. Why are you actually selling? Just out of curiosity. Because if you have a good interest rate, which means you have a pretty low payment, which means you probably can put somebody else in that house, cash flow for a little bit, or maybe you just don't even want to deal with renters at all, right? You just want the cash and you just want to go about it. Or you could do what a lot of corporate investors are doing, leaving a property vacant and just, sitting on an empty property. Well, you're just gonna have to cover the mortgage, which now you got to carry two mortgages, which probably gonna suck. But I don't understand if you have such a low mortgage rate, why are you actually selling? And in fact, if you're watching this now or even on the replay and you're a seller right now, please let me know, why are you actually selling? If you're selling for whatever reason, then if you don't mind sharing, and that'd be amazing to hear, because when people are selling and they have these low rates, I don't get it. I need clarity for my own sake. But let me go ahead and share my screen once more, because we still have more to talk about when it comes to this market in itself, in regards to where we're at, especially when it comes to prices. And of course, if I zoom in, I love this title, or at least this headline. So the housing market is finally buyer friendly as more sellers slash prices, and they're going to share with you a little bit more where you can find a deal. So what I just showed you was a little bit more in detail of where, but this is just going to break it down and kind of give you a broad. So we'll just kind of see if there's anything that didn't pop up on that other list, which they're giving you median prices as well, which I could tell you the median of Raleigh, which we're seeing about in that 400, but all these other areas, unfortunately, I don't cover them. So my focus goes to Raleigh. And even if you're in one of these markets, still do your inspections. There's no reason why you should be waiving anything. And if you are waiving it, that means you're probably in a multiple offer situation, which I pray and hope you're not, because that will suck. If you want to protect yourself in these times where prices are really going down, then you may want to consider, or at least incorporate, the appraisal contingency into your offer in itself. I'm not going to get into the weeds of that. If you're partnered up with already a realtor, then, or a real estate agent, then make sure you bring that up to them. That way you can get protected and don't have to bring up the difference, right? That's what the appraisal contingency is going to do. And negotiate, please, please. Like all of these markets here that you see, Phoenix, Tampa, you guys should be able to read this. Denver, Jacksonville, Florida, Austin. Negotiate. All right. Whether it's repairs, maybe it is the price that you want to negotiate. This is your opportunity. those times where everybody was waiting for prices to come down. Yeah, they're happening. But are you doing anything? That's really the question. And if the prices aren't coming down in your area, well, then make it. Literally, as a buyer, you literally hold the crown to pick and choose what you want the price to be of what you're paying for. So you have a choice. Are you going to allow the market to dictate what you do, or are you going to tell the market what you want to do? But anyways, let's go ahead and move forward and talk about where prices may be going based off of what these experts say. You like I put that in quotations? Let me clear that out real quick. Alrighty, here we go. So it's just another area kind of giving you insight on, and shout out to Housing Wire for providing this, but giving you insight on where prices are in retrospect to 2024. So 2023, no, it was in 2020. I believe it was 23 was the bottom, and then it went up. So this is not going to really be any price. Any of these prices are not going to be below 2020. I'll tell you that right now. So wishful thinking there. But 11 states have home prices at or below 2024. So again, Florida, right? You're going to have Georgia. Interesting. We have South Carolina being flat. Alabama, Texas, Arizona, Colorado. What's this? Montana. Oh, that was Arizona. That was in New Mexico. That's in New Mexico, right? Colorado, Montana. What's this? Washington. Iowa. What's this? New York. What's Tennessee is just about flat. What's over here? Utah is just about flat as well. What's this down here? Hawaii? Negative 3%. So if you're in any of these markets or looking in these markets, there is another picture you can take. Screenshot this. This is just a survey of what people think home prices are going to do. Just because it's a survey, I'm not going to put any weight to it because it's not based off of data. It's based off of how people feel, which I think everybody in this world wants prices to come down. Well, maybe not the sellers, but for the most part. But I will say, based off of everything that we're seeing here, my thoughts, I think the spring that we just have come off of, like literally were the peak prices of 2025. So what we've seen then most likely is going to come down. In fact, I was just looking at a new construction community and I feel so bad for these individuals who bought because they bought earlier this year. And those homes were priced, I want to say less than 20,000 already. And I mean, we're not even through the rest of the year where a lot can happen and a lot can occur. So I was like, man, this is why it's important how you buy. And you don't hear this a lot for whatever reason, but you make most of your money in real estate when you buy properly. That is it. In fact, that's really for everything. I mean, even if you buy low in the stock market, right? You buy low in the stock market, you sell high. This is very similar, right? So right now, what I'm seeing in some of these markets is people have bought at peak prices. Of course, no one knew what was going to occur. So, you kind of live with the decisions that are made. But at this current moment, if we're talking prices have peaked in spring of 2025, definitely take a look at your market and see what's going on there because there could be an opportunity there. Or what you can do, this is another thing I'll tell you, right? Make sure you tell your close friends and family, the people that you love, the people that's really close to you. And I'm not saying this loud intentionally because I don't want everybody to hear this because everybody hears this, then that hurts you and possibly even me when I'm working with other buyers. But the moving season, so we're in one of the hottest seasons right now, right? The spring and summertime are the two my busiest times of the year. And right now, as you can see, I don't know what the percentages actually mean. I probably could have cleared that up, but yes, the spring and summer, as you can see, right? That's when most people are looking to purchase and get into a home. But that's not the case right now. In fact, not as many people are looking to purchase. So who knows when? Who knows if it's going to flip flop? Right? Maybe it's going more towards the fall time. I highly doubt it will go towards the winter. And if it does go to fall, it will be early fall. I mean, I'm talking just before fall even hits. Just because a lot of what you have to think about and consider is this moving season is like this simply because people are trying to get their kids or get ready to, start a new job in the midst of all of this, right? The main reason I've ever heard, or at least I've worked with clients, it's the kids, the kids that they have to, relocate to get them into school, get them enrolled before the school season actually starts, get them comfortable with the area, yada yada yada, right? But this is not really true in today's market. Well, maybe not unfortunately for you, but unfortunately. And so, if I were you, as I mentioned, this is something we keep close and near dear to our hearts. Starting in October 1st, if we know the Fed are probably going to cut in September, October could be a time where you can see even better opportunities and better deals. But we shall wait and see. Let's see, a little bit more people decided to come into room when I said that. So, if you were here, you were here. If you weren't, maybe you could rewind. I don't know. I don't know, because even now we're even seeing builders do what I like to say. They're like hitting the pause, right? So they're like jab stepping in and out. Like it's like they're dancing. What's the when you do cha cha slide, right? Get funky with it. Oh, I think that's the one where you like do the jumping. Jackie, is it? I don't remember. Dang it! It would have been clutch if I remember that. But they're like jumping in and jumping out, right? So what I mean by that, they they'll start building aggressively, and then they'll slow down, right? So they're like, not really helping the market at all in any sort of way or fashion. So definitely consider and think about that at the same time. And if you do have any questions that you don't want to, bring on here or share on here, you can always click the link in the description below where you see agent referral. Or if you have a question, just reach out to me and we'll connect you to an agent in your local area, or just reach out to me if you have a question and I'll be in touch with you and we'll navigate whatever it is that you're going through. This market may seem hard, but I love it. I honestly love it, especially for all the buyers that I'm working with. I mean, I could tell you right now, I'm working with a buyer and she told me, she's like, hey, I only want to spend this much on my monthly mortgage. And I was like, perfect. That's the best information you can ever give me to a certain extent, right? Because there's a little bit more information I would need that would be extremely helpful, like, the type of house that you want. But when she shared that with me, I was like, all right, cool. We're just going to go out there and find the incentives. We're going to find the people who are willing to help you with getting to that monthly mortgage payment. But this is a market that's one for the history books. If it does, can it get any better than this? I don't know. I don't know. But if it does, man, that'd be phenomenal. Okay. And this is why I want you to all really look at new construction at the same time. Because I know a lot of you probably have seen a lot of people state, oh my goodness, my new home is destroyed after living in it for a couple of weeks or a month or maybe 6 months, whatever it is. I'm just trying to find it. There it is. This is why I want you to also look at new construction. Because if you do, then at least you can get incentives. You can take advantage of the incentives. Share my screen. There we go. So this blue line is resale, right? So any home that's already on the market. And this red line is new construction. Do y'all see anything wrong with this? Let me know in the comments. While you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, if you even want to subscribe. Just let me know. Do y'all see anything wrong with this? I'll tell you in a few. Let's give y'all a second or two to answer. Let's see if somebody gets it right. Mm-mm-mm. Do-do-do-do. That would have been a good sound effect to have. All right. Y'all not responding for whatever reason. Y'all must have me in your pocket at work or at work. If you're working at this time, God bless you. But the issue that is with this in itself, why is a new home price almost the same as an existing home, right? And most existing homes are, I want to say, 30 years old. I want to say. So you're telling me a new home is the same price as an existing home? That's probably the existing home already has issues. Well, I shouldn't say already has, may have issues, right? The components of the major foundations of a home, if the seller wasn't even on top of their game with it, may actually be a problem. So this is why I'm saying look at new construction, at least don't cancel it out. If you cancel it out, you may hurt yourself in the long run. Jay Garcia, shout outs to you. And look at that. So he said a new house should never cost less than the equal of a resale. So it's not costing less here. It's a little bit more, but they're just about the same, right? Like if we look real, that red line is the new home price. But that's what's happening, right? So look, don't cancel out new construction, please don't, because now, especially if you're talking about prices are lower, or at least as just about the same price as a older home, and they're offering incentives, at least in some markets, right? At least here in North Carolina, where I'm seeing rate buy downs to easily the fives or even the six, where they're buying down rates to there. I'm even seeing concessions in terms of 15K being, I've seen 10 to 15,000 just, of these builders willing to offer in terms of, helping a buyer with maybe buying down their rate, paying closing costs, or maybe they just want to pocket the money for themselves. I don't know. Or save money, right? Maybe they're already locked and loaded. They have everything they need. But those incentives are out there. So don't sleep on that just for the sake of, what maybe you may read or see online. Of course, do your inspections, do your due diligence. Don't ever skip inspections. If somebody tries to make you skip your inspection, look at them sideways and say, "What you talking about, Willis? We don't do that over here." But no, seriously, that's one thing I never want y'all to really do is skip inspections, because that's how you really hurt yourself in the long run. But enough of this right here, because I'm about to share with you something that I found out in North Carolina, at least. So if you're looking here, kudos for you. Screenshot this, take record of this. If you need more information on this, let me know. But this is huge. I actually didn't even find this. Right? I had a past client of mine. He was like, "Man, what is this?" I looked at him like, because I didn't know, right? It was brand new to me. So yes, you're reading this right. Raleigh is offering. Come on, bro. What are you doing? Get out of here. Nobody wants to see these ads right now. We got better things to look at. All right. So Raleigh's offering up to 60,000. Mm, mm. I mean, come on now. Let's talk about it. Yeah, that way, that way, that way. I mean, offering 60,000 for first-time home buyers down payment assistance programs. Woo! The time has arrived, man. A lot of cities, a lot of metros, a lot of counties, they're trying to figure out how to help buyers. And this is a prime example, right? 60,000, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's all going to be relative and you're gonna have to qualify for it. You're not gonna get the whole 60,000. So please don't hold me and be like, hey Ronnie, I didn't get 60,000. Like it's gonna be based off of your income, probably even if you're a first time home buyer in itself. Don't just think just because they're offering this that you're just gonna get the entire funds, right? That's why you always gotta read the fine print, or you gotta just understand these programs that are out there in those states because they do all of them. All of them. I haven't come across one program that's not that doesn't have any incentives. Oh, not incentives. That doesn't have stipulations to it. The only thing that's not going to have a stipulation is grants for the most part, right? So that's just money that they're just giving you to help. But you'll never see a grant be 60 grand. If you ever see a grant that's 60 grand, please let me know. Unfortunately, this program, I don't know if it's going to last for a very long time because I'm sure those funds are going to dry up, especially if everybody knows about this. So if you're in this market, you may want to rush to go find out where, what's the availability of it. Reach out to me and let me know, and I could give you insight on terms in terms of where everything is at. But they're offering the money, right? And I think this one specifically, you have to be within city limits. So you can't just take this money and go elsewhere, right? That's why I said these stipulations, they're everywhere, right? For a single person, right, you have to make between 73 for of a family, 73,000 for a family of three, which is for a single person. Sorry about that. For a single person, that's almost 73 grand that you have to be making a year. For a family of three, it has to be 94. Family of three is 94. Wow. So yeah, participants can get up to 45,000 for a down payment within city limits, and if they're buying in targeted areas, people can get up to 60,000. Don't ever say I don't share with y'all good information. And if I don't, please let me know. Like, yo, this ain't good. I need something better. Because I'll find it. The information is out there. Sometimes it's just, what am I willing to disclose at this current time and being? Because yeah, I gotta give my clients the edge. I got to every single time. This article was actually done in the beginning of the month, and they stating here the city says there's no wait list right now, and Raleigh's on track to help 75 families this fiscal year. So you guys are getting a good amount of help, at least here. But if you're not in Raleigh, I get it. I understand. The beautiful part is I didn't stop there. Let me find the article in itself. Okay, here it is. This is not so much of down payment, but if you do want any assistance in terms of down payment, let me know because I can always look depending on, and this is not going to even be dependent on the city or metro that you're actually in. All right, so just whatever area that you're in, if you're looking for down payment assistance or anything of that nature, let me know and I could definitely provide you with the resource or at least provide you with those programs specifically in that market. But if you are in the middle of trying to buy and sell, I haven't seen one of these in a while. Like this was a very, very, very popular thing in 2020 when the market was moving super duper fast, where they allowed people to purchase homes without their homes actually being sold already. it's like they're kind of fronting you the money essentially. But Rocket Mortgage is launching it. So just want to bring that to your awareness because I know a lot of the companies, or at least the partners that I had that I was using, they all dried up. And when I mean they dried up, I mean like they're just not existent. They don't even do it no more. Whether they do, if they do it, they don't at least do it in this market. And it is unfortunate because some people is buying and selling is not an easy thing, especially if trying to at the same time. So this program here is going to allow you to do that, right? They're giving you up to 6 months to sell your home, which you may need it now because most homes nowadays are staying on the market for easily a month before really selling, and you're only going to be required to make interest only payments. So you're not putting down the whole thing on it, the whole PMI, P and I, which is your principal and interest. You're really only paying attention to your interest at this point in time, which is extremely helpful. So at this point in time, let me know if you guys do have any questions. Drop them in the comments. I'd highly recommend you do that because I'm actually going to go into the Q&A session that I do have, and we'll go ahead and clear things up then. In addition to this program in itself, I will say for the renters out there, I actually just found this out. Please, 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 if you're renting right now or you know someone that's renting that's trying to get into the housing market, maybe even next year, make sure your rent is being reported to your credit report. And of course, if that's the case, stay on top of it. Don't mess around with that stuff. Don't make it report to your credit just to hurt yourself even more. And the only reason why I'm sharing that with you is because I actually came across. I was on a, and this is just like real intel. This is how much I love y'all. Sometimes I really want y'all to win. That's really what it comes down to. I was on a call and they were talking about how rent payments can actually help you qualify for a home, right? And so nowadays, I know you guys probably all hear it, which nowadays you probably all hear a lot of people will talk about how renting is waste your money and you just throwing money out the window, you're helping somebody else get rich and yada 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 yada, whatever, right? Now you can actually use that to your advantage and help yourself get further, but it has to be documented that you're paying rent. You have to show it, whether it's on your bank statements. If you're paying somebody cash and you still stuffing stuff under your mattress, come on, we gotta leave that time alone. We gotta leave those days behind us to the point where now you can at least put yourself in position to be able to have funds, be resourceful. There's plenty of things and plenty of ways you guys can go about that, but I would actually highly encourage everyone, make sure your rent is being reported to your credit report because now that's going to start helping a lot of individuals get qualified for a home. And instead of now, a lot of people are saying rent's kind of being useless, right? Rent payments being useless. Now it's becoming helpful. But let me know what questions you guys have. Not so much on the rent one, right? Just make sure it's being reported. Stay on top of your rent. As I get more information on how exactly that is how that is being navigated, then I can be able to share a little bit more with you all. But I was just briefed on it, so I'm just sharing with you as much as I can immediately so that you guys can start acting on it. All right, but here is what I'll do while I wait for you guys to shoot me with any question that you may have. I want to show you guys because one question I get a lot is, well, I can't put down a big down payment. So if you're in that situation where you can't put down a big down payment, what should you really be doing? Well, you should be looking at the different type of loan products that are already out there, because if you're still under the impression that you have to put 20% down, where in the heck have you been? For real, for real. You don't have to. You can do 3.5. You can do no payment. You can do no down payment. You, you can do, I think 3.5 is your lowest. You can do up to 5% if you want to go conventional. If you want to avoid PMI entirely, you can go 20% down on conventional. But I bring this up because I see less and less of people are using FHA loans, and it doesn't really seem like anybody is ever trying to use the VA loan, which salute to all the vets out there. Appreciate you guys all for everything y'all do. Y'all got to start using that VA loan, seriously. I mean, we're talking no down payment. Woo! I actually know a real estate agent that literally helps people, specifically VA. Like, he's really good at doing it with the VA loan. He helps veterans get paid at closing for their homes. In those scenarios, yeah, it's real. Like, he's doing it now even more than ever because we're in that buyer market where you can negotiate a little bit more and you don't have a down payment, right? So getting closing costs already paid for and getting paid at closing, it's pretty insane. I mean, that can happen in many markets. Of course, you got to know what you're doing. You got to understand the VA loan in itself. Maybe you're not trying to understand it in yourself entirely as a buyer, but at least make sure your real estate agent understands it. That way you can make sure you get paid at closing if that's what you're interested in. But we have to encourage a lot more people to start using their VA because the fact that it's been like this for the past 10 years, it's like, whoa. And then as far as excuse me, as far as FHA goes, if you're concerned about the down payment, this is one of those programs to really take a look at. And if you don't want to go FHA for whatever reason, you can always go USDA, right? That's more of a rural loan. So the home has to be in a rural area. There is income restrictions to it. So it's not as flexible as your FHA. In fact, it's a little bit more strict. So everything for USDA is going to fall in line, and you're not putting anything down for a USDA loan. So take that how you please. But if you don't want to put down a big down payment, that's what I would do. All right. Another question that I typically get that you guys all may have. So, how are you preparing to act when rates and prices dip? So prices are dipping now. So if that's your market, then you should be acting already as is, right? You should be preparing yourself. You should be getting yourself in terms of your pre-approval, right? So if you're anticipating rates to drop or you have some sort of intel that I don't know about, first off, share it with me, please. Don't be stingy. I'm up here giving y'all game after game after game. Y'all gotta share the wealth. Like, come on now. But more or less, you guys should be sharing this stream with somebody else. If you guys keep this information hostage and don't share with the people that's close to you, the people that you love, man, shame on you for real. This is when you start sharing it, more blessings come your way, anyways. But don't 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 hide the plug. If you guys call me the plug, right? When it comes to real estate, at least that I ain't talking about that. You know what I mean? But okay, how are you preparing to act when rates and prices are dropping? So of course, getting yourself prepared. Right now is the time to start preparing yourself as we start to shift in the market in itself, whether it's prices trending down, whether it's mortgage rates trending down. You have to position yourself and get your finances in order to make sure when it is time to get approved or pre-approved, you're ready to rock and roll. A lot of times what I see is people don't take the initiatives to prepare themselves, or they think they're already good, and then when it's time to get prepared, it's like, no, you're not ready. And so I would highly encourage, all right, speak to a lender. You don't necessarily have to have them run your credit all through the entire system, right? You can give them your scenario and literally tell them, don't run my credit. I just want to know what is it that I need to work on, or if there is anything I need to work on, or what is it that I would even qualify in these circumstances, right? That I would say have those conversations and start getting ready for that, especially if you're trying to relocate to a whole nother state. Now that's a whole nother different ball game that honestly I'm not going to talk about right now, but just know it's not harder. There's just obviously more steps, right? So it's mainly based around your income. Let me know if you guys do have any questions. In the meantime, if you haven't already, like the video. Come on now. Let's do it. Come on now. But let me know what questions that you do have. Subscribe. I'm here every other Wednesday giving you any information I know that's going on in the real estate market right now. I will say entirely we're kind of going on a downtrend. I don't, personally speaking, I can be biased. You're probably watching this like, yeah, you're a real estate agent, man. Of course, that's what you're gonna say. I don't really foresee prices doing going below 2020 levels because there isn't much supply. And if the supply is there, their sellers aren't selling it because of the interest rates. But here's another good question that I got. Is it better to buy now with a higher rate and refinance later? I think there was a time where a lot of people were saying, marry the home, date the rate. You know, y- yeah, you can do that, but you gotta be careful because if rates don't ever come down, then I don't know if you dated the rate. Maybe you married the rate at that point in time. You marry the house and the rate, which is gonna suck in the end, right? The only thing I would say is it better now to buy with a higher rate is you can buy it down. You can look at ARMs, adjustable mortgage rates, which if you're not savvy with your finances and you really just would prefer something being fixed, and maybe buy down your rate, go look at new construction, go maybe take some of the incentives that they're giving you for closing costs and buy down that rate to wherever it is that those funds allow you to. But an arm could be another option as well, and this is not financial advice, this is just something that I would do, right? So if it's a better time, is it better to buy now with a higher rate? Maybe not. It all depends on your financial situation and whether you guys all can handle it. I know a lot of individuals, what they'll do is when rates are high like this, they'll get an arm that's like 7 to 10 years intentionally because they don't even foresee themselves staying in that house for 7 to 10 years. So by that time of 7 to 10 years, that house is on the market. And it's just so many scenarios that people do when, in certain scenarios, well, in certain situations to get themselves out. And so if you are trying to purchase a home and an arm is a little bit lower, uh, adjustable mortgage, adjustable rate mortgage, I think it is. If that is lower than and you don't anticipate yourself being in that area for the foreseeable future, right? Get an arm that's long dated, right? At least minimum 5 years, I will say. Because if you get anything less than 5 years, you may just be underwater at the end of the day. Real estate values don't move like they did in 2020. Normally, right? But that's just me speaking to you and letting you know what you can do in this higher rate environment that we're at. Sure enough, you can buy and just refinance later. But if rates don't come down, that's kind of that's kind of what you have to really think about. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions as I go through this. I'm just going through my Q&A session right now that I have, where I get these questions that I'm just kind of sharing with you. And so, given where the market is right now, what contingencies are you now comfortable including given the market trends? The only contingency I would say, and of course this is based off of the information, the data on the US scale, right? Appraisal contingencies. So if a home comes in below your offer, then you have an issue. A big issue. An issue that I don't think you're really gonna wanna deal with. Because if the seller doesn't wanna lower their price, now you have to make up the difference because the appraisal is what the bank is willing to lend you on. So I'll just throw numbers out there, right? Let's say there's a home out there, and this is why appraisal contingency is going to be a little bit helpful because it kind of protects you. Doesn't necessarily protect you entirely, but it's going to protect you a little bit. Give me 1 second. Yep. So the appraisal contingency. I'll use numbers just for number's sake, all right? And if you're in a specific market and you want me to do this for your market, just let me know. If you do not have that appraisal contingency in place and you put an offer on a home and it's worth, let's just say you put a $300,000 offer, right? And that appraisal came in and it's at 250, and that seller says to you, hey man, I'm not lowering my price and I'm not contributing. Now you have to figure out how to come up with 50 grand to cover the difference because the seller just literally told you they're not going to help you. Or what you can do is just back out. I know in North Carolina, if you back out at the point where appraisal came in, you lost your due diligence. You probably lost your earnest money, depending on, of course, timing, right? And how much time you gave yourself. Let's just say you lost a good amount of money. So that's why I say appraisal contingencies could be helpful in this market. If you don't want to do it or it's not going to help your offer be as strong, then make sure you are or your real estate agent is doing, running a comparables, seeing what's going on in the area. Because if it comes in lower and that seller is a complete jerk, you're going to have a bad experience. And another question, I think I mentioned this already. So if you guys have any specific questions, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. If y'all don't, then y'all don't. But is now a good time to negotiate with sellers? What do you think? Hold on. Let me go to it. What do you think? Of course it is. Of course it is. This is a time where you literally lock and load. You get everything ready to go. You start. Don't be a jerk either. As a buyer, don't be rude to. The sellers just want out. Yeah, they want to make a little bit of money at the same time. Don't we all? Don't we all? So yes, this is a good time. Maybe I'm just gonna repeat myself because I've been telling you all stream to be able to negotiate. Make sure you cover, at least get help with your closing costs. Maybe you're buying down your rate. Maybe even you want to make repairs to the home. I know that's a really good one for resale. I would definitely always encourage to get some funds because you don't know what that seller was doing with that home, right? So unless if you want to take on the entire cost, then you are free. Another thing to do, you can start reducing prices if you really want to do that. Besides that, I mean, there's not much really you can do, right? But I will also say, like, if you're going to start negotiating with sellers, I'm just looking at my notes. If you're going to start negotiating with sellers, what you must look at is if you're going to go after incentives, have a good reason, right? Don't just say I want to go after incentives just because. Or if you're going to reduce price, have a good reason. But use a mortgage calculator, seriously, because I just help a buyer do this, right? They want to reduce. They were looking at reducing price. I was like, if we reduce the price, what is that going to save you? Maybe $20 off your mortgage. No, just do the math, right? How long is it going to take for you to make that reduction and get it back in tenfold, right? For this person specifically, I didn't do the math on it, but saving you $20 by the end of the year, 240. If I do the math, that's going to take this person well over 10 years to recoup, what they would have gotten if we just asked for concessions instead. So that's why I'm sharing with you. Before you go ahead and, start making any reductions to the prices, really start to look because you make a reduction by like 5,000, let's just say, it's not going to make a tremendous dent into your mortgage payment. May look good on paper. But, what you have to dish out every month in comparison to what looks good on paper, those are two different things. And personally speaking, I think in that case 5,000 of concession is going to be a little bit more favorable to you because at that point you can use that for your mortgage payments. You can, if something pops up with repairs, you can use it for the repairs. So I know I talk a lot about incentives and they're out there. Just be careful that you do not overpay at the same time just because of the incentives that are out there, especially with new construction. The way that they're reporting those things, it's insane. However, at this point in time, it seems like you guys are all very shy, or y'all all must be extreme amount of experts in this real estate market because no one had a question. And I just went through a lot of questions about this market in itself. So if y'all don't have any questions, y'all know where to find me in 2 weeks. If I need to remind you guys got to let me know. Yeah. Are y'all going to forget? Or you can actually, what you can do, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. But when you do that, hit the bell. That way you do get notified when I am live. I don't like to show up late, so you don't have to worry about that. But if y'all don't have any questions, y'all be safe. Keep everything loaded. Make sure you negotiate. Don't get caught red-handed and looking at everything later and be like, dang, you could have did this and that and the third. Just get yourself prepared now. Of course, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. Let me know. The link is in the description. If you need to reach out to me, you can either, if you need an agent, of course, the link is going to be there. If you need to contact me itself, just you'll find my contact information somewhere on this channel. It's not that hard to find. It shouldn't be, at least. And if it is, let me know and I'll put it in a place where everybody can find it. But with all that being said, if y'all don't have any questions, toodaloo, be safe, have a good week, the rest of the week, and stay tuned because I have a really, 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 really great video coming, at least this week. I'm excited for it, so you should too. Peace out.